Okay. So yesterday, what we have understood is we just started. We just started understanding about the strings, basics of strings, I can say. So still we haven't seen the functions of the strings. Last night I prepared the functions as well. Functions are not that much useful at this point of time. So we'll see that functions later. Now we are trying to understand the other collection called list, and this is most important list in Python. So we are going to use this particular list very frequently in PySpark because sometimes output you'll get in list format. Okay, we'll see the examples as well for this. So a list in a Python is used to store the sequence of various types of data. Okay. Now you guys know already list generally we mention like this. List 1 equal to John 102 USA. So based on this example, you just tell me a list is a collection of homogeneous elements or heterogeneous elements. Now before that you ask question, what is homogeneous, what is heterogeneous? What is homogeneous? What is
Same type,
homogeneous?
right?
Same type of elements. Heterogeneous means different types of elements. See, list is a collection of heterogeneous elements. So that is the reason why I mentioned, clearly mentioned here, John is a string, 102 is a number, USA is a string again. That means different data types are we collecting or not? Yes. Yes. We are trying to collect, we are collecting the different data types in a single unit. That we are calling it as a list. See, not only like this, you can even collect as a same data type. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all are same data types actually. 1 is a number, 2 is a number, 3 is a number, 6 is a number. Okay. And one more thing is Python lists are mutable type. What is this mutable? So this keyword is more important across all the lists actually. What is mutable? Mutable means we can change. We can change the value of a. Uh, we can add a element. We can remove a element from the list. We can update the element from the list. So type it's mean we can modify its element after it is created. Once it is created, we can modify the elements. We can remove the element. We can add the element. We can update the element. Do whatever you want on top of it. Just like your table. So all your SQL tables are mutable. You can edit them, right? You can edit means you can update them, right? You can insert the data, right? You can do DML operations right on top of that. Same way here also, mutable is nothing but editable. We can add, remove, or update the elements in a list once it is created. Remember, this is most important point. Okay. A list can be defined as a collection of values or items of different types. We have discussed already that. Next, the items in the list are separated by comma, of course. Uh, you need to you need to use comma here to separate all the elements in a list. In a list. So that is what I'm trying to mention. Okay. And remember one point here, a list allows duplicate members. What is it? What does it mean? So you can have duplicate values also in a list. In a list, it will allow actually. So let me try to create a sample list, and let me try to insert some duplicate values inside in that. Okay. Now I wanted to execute this particular Python code. How to start it? How to start it? So you guys have to install. What you guys can do is you try to install I already told you right yesterday. What is that? What is that software we need to install to execute all the Python commands? Anaconda
ID.
distribution. Anaconda you need to install. See, lot of like YouTube videos are there uh, to give the knowledge about the Anaconda distribution. Please follow any of the YouTube video and try to install it in your local. Please do that. Okay, even for the Spark execution, that is very much required. Even for the Spark execution. See, see for executing PySpark commands, Python ID is required, right? That Python ID is nothing but we are going to use backend as Anaconda distribution only. Okay. So in order to open that one, we need to open Anaconda prompt here like this. Anaconda prompt. This is the prompt actually. Click on that one and it will open like this. Here you just need to type here Jupyter notebook. Jupyter notebook. Just hit enter. Hit enter. See, it is opening Jupyter notebook here. So it is already opened yesterday. Again, it is trying to open the second one. That's okay. Or you can use the existing one also. No issues. Okay. Now I'll try to use the new one. So yesterday I practiced all my commands in Untitled 8 actually. Today I wanted to create a new file. So for opening a new file, you need to click on new Python 3. Python 3. Just open that one. So it won't take much time and you need to edit the file name here. So this is purely related to list, right? I'm just trying to take here Python underscore list. This is my, see why I'm giving some name here is once we complete the execution of the list, we can generate a .py file. So that .py file name, it is going to take this one. And I can forward that .py file with you guys and you guys can import that Python file in your local. So for that reason, I'm giving some meaningful name. Okay. So what I'm trying to do here, I'm just trying to create a list here. Now, how to define a list here? So I don't want to type anything here. I want you to copy each and everything. Okay. How to create a list here? How to create a list? So I'm just giving a comment here. Creating a list in Python. So this is the list 1 and list 2. L1 equal to John 102 USA. L2 equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. 6. Up to 6. Now what they're trying to say here? Now intentionally I'll try to put here 5 comma 2 comma 3. What I'm trying to do here? I'm trying to insert duplicate records here. I'll give some space here. Like this. 2, 3 elements are already there in a list, right? Already there in a list. Now, will it allow 2, 3 here? So, if you want to print, if you want to see the output of the list, actually, you can actually use print command here. Print of L2. L, we need to case sensitive here, L2. And before that one, I wanted to print L1 also. So, print of L1. L should be taken as a capital only because you defined already here with a capital letters, right? You have to take capital letters only. Otherwise, it will not recognize that. Okay. That is one thing. Okay, let me try to print this one. So, will it take duplicate values or not? That is what I wanted to understand here. That is my first point actually. Now, let me execute this. See, it is taking. Python list is allowing duplicate values. Duplicate values. Okay. And one more thing here, lists are immutable. Sorry, mutable, right? Mutable means we can edit the element. Let's say this John is there. I wanted to edit this particular element to Blake. I wanted to update this particular element to the Blake. Now, how to update that? How to update that? Now, how to access this particular element? You need to understand that before the update, you need to understand how to access this particular element. Now, in the string, how did you access the elements? With the help of index, right? Index or not? Yesterday we have seen, right? With the help of index, we were able to access, right? In the same way here also, in the list, we can access the elements by using what? Index. List of 0. 0 means first element. List of 1, second element. List of 2, third element. Fourth, 5, 6, and so on like that. How many elements are there? So based on the index, we can access those. Okay. Now slicing operation. Yesterday I've discussed, right, already. List of 0 colon. What is the meaning of this? What it will display? What it will display? What is the output it is going to give?
0 to till end.
0 to
From
Till
begin to
end.
end.
0 to till. Since you're not mentioning any ending index, it will consider till last value. By default, it will take a last value, last index. 0 to ending index. That is the meaning of that. The output you are going to get 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because always index starts with the 0 only, right? So it will start displaying from the first element. Okay. Now, if I try to mention simply colon, that means you're not mentioning beginning index and ending index also. Beginning index, if you're not mentioning what it will take, 0 only. 0 only. If you don't mention ending index, the last index value it will try to consider. What is the beginning index here? 0. What is the last index value? 5. So it will try to display all the elements. Now let's say I'm trying to take here list of 2 to 4. 2 to 4. What does it take now? What is the output of this? 4 minus 1 always you need to take. I already told you yesterday. Ending index always you have to do minus 1. Okay,
Yes,
2
yes.
to 3. 2 to 3. Which one it is going to consider? Index
200.
starting with the 2 and it is going to take till 3.
2.
This one, right? 2 and 3. Are you getting? Okay, let me try to give example with the alphabets here so that you will understand in a better way because the numbers are a bit confused here. Okay, now let's say I am taking here A, B, C, D, E, F. I'll take like this. Now tell me if this is the question, what is the output you are going to get? Consider these are index numbers. Consider these are index numbers. List of 2 to 4. 2 to 4 means this is 0th index, first index, second index.
CD.
So it will start from here. 4 minus 1, 3. 4 minus 1, 3. So it will start from here and it will end here. What is the output you are going to get?
CD.
CD output you are going to get. Okay. Next. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. What is the output you are going to get? 3 minus 1 always you need to consider here. 3 minus 1 is 2. It will start from 1 and end with it will display up to 2. 2 means BC it will display. Now last one, list of colon 4. I'm not mentioning any starting index here. If you don't mention starting index, what will happen? It will anyway consider the starting index here, that is 0. It will consider by default 0 to 4. 4 minus 1 always you need to consider. That means 0 to 3. 0 to 3 means from here to here. So here to here means what it will consider? A, B, C, D. So that is what the output you're going to get. You want me to type that? You want me to see that? You want me to execute that? Come on, guys, give me some
No.
response.
No.
Not required? Okay.
Not required, Shiva.
Yeah, okay. So next, Okay, now how to update that one now? So I was mentioning here, lists are mutable. See, my intention is here, I wanted to update one of the record here, one of the element here. Now for that, I was trying to understand the index concept here. Now how to update that particular element? Now how did I define the list here? I defined the list here, John 102 SA. This is employee name, this is employee ID, this is country. Consider that way. Now I wanted to update the uh, John K. I wanted to update the first name and last name also in the name. John K. That is what I wanted to update. Or John Kelvin. That is what I wanted to update here. Now how to update that one? Now you need to access this particular element through index value. Now how to update that? Now list of, okay, what is that list object actually? L1, right? L1. Okay. How to access that particular element here? First element means 0, right? L1 of 0. What you'll get actually here? John, right? Now, whatever the element you wanted to update, that you try to take here. So I wanted to update here JOHN Kelvin or Kevin, John Kevin, Kelvin, anything you can take here. So let's say Kevin, I wanted to update here. So K, I wanted to take uppercase here. That's okay. So this is the assignment operation. Now, if you update this one, what happens? Yes, this got updated here. Now, if you go and print L1, what happens? Are you going to will you be able to see John or John Kevin?
John Kevin.
John Kevin, right? Okay, so let me try to print that here. So L1. See, John Kevin. Okay. Oh, uppercase I've taken. That's okay. Fine. See, ultimately, what I wanted to show is you can update the elements in a list. If you're updating means it is a mutable. You can add the elements also here. You can add elements also. We'll see that all those operations. We have a add function is there that we are going to see. You can delete the elements also from a list. See, that means you're able to add the elements, update the element, delete the element. So we can call it as a, we can conclude it as a, so lists are mutable. Mutable. Fine. Now let me try to take a new cell here. As I was mentioning yesterday, did we see the negative direction as well? I mean, backward direction as well with the negative values. So Python also stores these values, list values in the memory with the negative index also. In the positive index, in the positive positive direction, in the forward direction, the index values always starts from 0. In the negative direction, the index values always starts with the -1. Do remember that. The 0 is already used in forward direction. That is the reason why we cannot use that 0 here. So in the backward direction, the index value always starts with the -1. -1. See, sometimes in the interview, they'll ask you some tricky questions. So we have many use cases based on this backward direction. You can reverse this thing very easily. You can display the elements in a list in a reverse order. You can do few things actually with the reverse order with this backward direction. Okay, we'll see those use cases also. I have some examples with that for that. Okay. Huh. Of course, same point here. They're trying to telling us. So we have different methods are there here. One point I wanted to tell here, very important point. I mean, purely related to Python here. So whenever you say a equal to 5, what happened in the backend? We have discussed it already yesterday. What happened in the backend? It is going to create a object. Object is nothing but a memory location. That's it. This 5, whatever you're giving, that 5 will be stored actually in a memory location. Okay. Now, when you say print of A, now how you're getting this 5 here? This A is pointing this memory location. A will store this memory location value actually, indirectly in the backend. It doesn't store actual value here. A is just a pointer to this memory location. A is just a pointer to this memory location. Okay. Now, not only normal number, guys, not only string here. So even if you define a list, L1 equal to apple, banana, cherry, if you take like this, backend, it is going to create an object only. Object only. Okay. Now remember, this is language fundamental actually. Whenever you're trying to do some operation on the object. Now this list is a list right here. The list indirectly backend, what exactly mean by this one? This is an object. On top of object, if you're trying to call any function, that we call it as a method. It's not a function, it's a method. So it's a method actually. Okay, append is a method. So don't call them as a functions, call them as a methods here. Okay, even by mistake, if I mention that as a function, no need to worry about that. So we need to consider them as a methods only. And okay, that is fine. That is language fundamental. And one more point I wanted to tell here. Let's say initially I assigned value a equal to 5. Now I wanted to update this value to 6. Now what did I do is a equal to 6. Now what happened to the backend object? What happened to the backend object? Is it going to update the existing object to the 6? Is that your expectation here? This is what your expectation here in the backend. Okay. The moment you assign a equal to 6, it is going to create a new object with memory, with object storage, with value 6, and it is going to discard this particular object. Objects are immutable. You cannot modify the objects. You cannot edit the objects actually. Okay. So it is going to create a new object every time you assign a new value. Not only a number, not only a string, even if you're trying to create a list here, backend it is going to, if you're trying to update a list or add a element in the list or remove a element in the list, whatever you do, whatever the operation you're going to do on the list, it is going to create a new object. This is also a language fundamental. Okay. Now we'll see one by one method here. The first method is append. Now, why do we use this particular append method? If at all, if you want to insert any, if you want to add any element to the list, existing list, then we can use append. Append is nothing but, is it going to add, it is going to add somewhere in some location, or at the end it is going to add. What is your expectation here? See, this element, whatever you wanted to add here, is it going to add at the end of the list or somewhere in it at some arbitrary location, random location?
End of the list.
End of the list it is going to add, because always remember, lists are ordered elements. Lists are ordered, I can say. Ordered means, so you can access them through index. They have specific order actually. They have specific order. So this is index 0, this is index 1, this is index 2, and whatever you're trying to add, that will be added in a index 4. It will not add randomly in some position. No, because the lists are ordered elements. It's an ordered collection, I can say. So let me try to show you that practically so that you'll understand it. Okay. So this list I'm copying from here and I'm trying to paste it here. So print this list. Now where did it add here? At the end only. At the end it has added. Okay. Append. This is related to append. So it has simply added at the end of the list. So going forward, if somebody asks you how do you add the elements to the list, then you guys have to say this particular method. Okay, append. Okay. So next, we have one more similar method here. Let's say if you want to add this particular element in a particular index, then we are going to use insert method. But with append, you cannot define the position. But with the insert, you can define the position here. Position means index value. So I want this orange at any cost in a first index. First index. Now let me try to execute this particular one so that you will understand where exactly it is trying to add here. Okay. So this list dot insert. Okay. Let me try to do that here. See where it is adding here in the index value 1. First index. This is 0th index. This is first index. It is simply added this orange in the second position. So this is about the insert. Okay, I'm just saving this one every time. Anyway, it is going to save automatically. I don't need to save it every time. Okay, so this is about the insert. So basically what I'm trying to say is there are two different methods are there in the list, there in the Python to add elements to the list. Okay, next, I wanted to remove the element from the list. So for that, we have a method called remove directly. Okay. Here you have to mention that element name directly. Element name. So I wanted to delete banana from the list actually. So you can do that one as well here. I'm just copying that list here. Then what will happen here? I'm just trying to execute this. Yeah, it is throwing error. Why it is throwing error? Why it is throwing error? And what is the issue here?
In print method, there is a space before starting.
Okay. What is this generally we call here in Python language?
Indent.
Indentation.
Mm.
This we call it as the indentation. Okay. So we got here unnecessary space. That is the reason why it is saying unexpected indent. So you have to be very careful with the spaces in Python. Okay. So I'm just removing that space here so that it will execute this. See what you're getting here? I'm just trying to remove the banana from this particular list. So a remove of banana, and finally, if I try to print that list, what you're getting? Apple and cherry. It got removed now. Okay. Next. Let's say I wanted to delete an element from a list using index value. I don't want to define a value name here, because the value name is not at all fixed right every time. The position may change right here. Today it may be banana, tomorrow it may be some other fruit name. Then I don't want to delete based on the element name here. I wanted to delete based on the index value. In that case, we have one function, we have one method called pop. So this is going to delete the element from the list based on the index position, I can say. Okay. So here you can use pop easily like this. Pop of 1. That means first position element you try to delete it. First position element is what? Banana. So if you try to execute this one, see what happened? Apple and cherry. Banana got deleted here. Banana got deleted. Okay, fine. So this is one method here. Next, we have, we can take actually, we are passing index value as an argument right here, as a parameter right here. Now, I don't want to pass this argument or parameter here. I'm simply wanted to mention here without that index value. Then what will happen? See, if you don't mention any index value, it removes the last item from the list. Now, what I'll do is I'll try to execute the same thing as it is here, but without mentioning here this one element index value. Then if you try to print this particular one, now what got deleted here? Cherry got deleted here. And apple and banana as it is maintained. Okay. Next. Let's say you wanted to delete the entire list. Then you have to use the keyword called delete. Del, not delete, del, I can say. Del is a keyword. It's not a function, it's not a method. Del is a keyword. Okay, so it can delete the entire list. Now, if I try to execute this particular, deleting is nothing but it will delete only the elements from the list, or it will delete the list itself. Is it going to delete the entire list, including the memory location and all, or is it going to delete only the elements from the list?
Elements from the list, if I'm not wrong.
No, it is going to delete, or I can say in our SQL language, it is going to drop this particular list actually. Okay. So that is what I wanted to prove here. Okay, let me try to do that here. So whether this particular object is there or not in the backend, how do we know that? If you try to print that, it will try to throw error, right? Simply.
Print to this list.
Yeah.
Or you'll come to know that one using the address also. If you want to see the address of any object, you have to use ID. Or you can use this one also directly. You try to print that one. If it is saying this list does not exist, then I can say that it got dropped. Correct or not? Okay, let me try to execute this. See, it got dropped actually with the delete keyword. And when I try to print this one, then it is saying that it is not defined. Then simply I'm saying here, delete keyword is going to delete the entire list completely from the memory location. Agree with that?
Mm.
Yes. Okay. That is one thing. Now let's say I don't want to drop the list actually, but I wanted to empty the list. Empty the list means I wanted to clear only the elements, but still I wanted to maintain that list. Okay, in that case, we are going to use one more method called clear. And before that one, I wanted to tell you one more thing here. if you want to delete a particular element from the list, you can use delete keyword also. You can use delete keyword also here. But here, what will happen if you try to do this? Now, this is going to delete the entire list, or it is going to delete only the particular element here. Now, come on, help me here. Help me here. Try to understand this. This list equal to this one, and delete this list of 0. 0 means what? That is the index value. So first position, whatever it is there, first index position, whatever it is there, then it will simply delete that. But I'm using delete keyword right here. Delete keyword right here. Then in that case, what will happen? Is it going to delete the entire list or only that particular element? Just guess it here. See, it is deleting only the element here. That means so far to delete the elements from a list, we have discussed 3 different methods. What are those? What are those? Remove, pop with index,
Delete.
without index also. Okay. And next one is del command. Del command, del keyword. There are 3 There are 3 different methods or keywords are there here in Python to delete the element from the list. Okay. Next, we have one more method also there, that is clear. It will simply clear the elements from the list. In our SQL language, it is a truncate. It is a truncate. Okay. So now what is the equivalent command for the drop here? Drop. Which command is dropping the list? Which command is dropping the list?
Delete.
Del.
Yeah. Del.
Okay. So see here, clear is simply clearing the elements from the list. Clearing the elements from the list. Then what happened here? So now it is displaying empty list here. This is the symbol for the empty list. Now all the elements are removed here. Okay, this is one of the method action. Next. Okay. Now somebody asks you, hey, can you display all the elements from a list? All the elements from a list. Then what you need to do is we need to iterate through for loop. We need to iterate all the like elements through for loop only. So that is only the option we have here. That is only the option we have here. Okay, let's say what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to define a list called this list. There you have actually apple, banana, cherry. Okay. Now I wanted to iterate. I wanted to see all the elements here. Then we have to use for loop here. For some variable you can define here. In the list name we need to mention here. Then what will happen? Here in the backend, it will try to first pointer will start pointing to the entire list. It will start pointing to the first element. First element, it will try to print it. Second element, third element, fourth element, fifth element. Like that, how many elements are there in the list? Till that number of elements are completed, iterated, it will not stop it actually. So it will display till last element in a list. This is the notation we are going to use generally for displaying the list elements. This is important interview question as well. How do you display list elements? Using for loop. Okay. Next. Sorting. So let's say I'm trying to define the list like this: orange, mango, kiwi, pineapple, banana, like this. I wanted to sort them in a order, either in ascending order or descending order. Any order is okay. So if you want to order them, you have to use sort function here, sort method here. Sort method. Okay. See, I'm simply mentioning sort here. Is it going to sort in ascending order or descending order? By default in SQL also, what is the default order? It is going to maintain ascending or descending?
Ascend.
Ascending order it is going to maintain. Similarly, in Python also, if you don't mention anything either ascending or descending here, anyway, it will not take ascending or descending here. By default, it will try to sort the data in a ascending order. Okay, let me try to prove that one here. Let me try to prove that one here. Okay, this list equal to this one, and after that, this list equal to sort. On top of that one, I'm just using the method called sort. Okay, so print off this list. Then what happens? We are supposed to get banana first, I think. Yeah, banana first. And next, kiwi next. Like that, we need to get it actually. Now see, banana, kiwi, mango, orange, pineapple. Now, my question is, I wanted to sort them in a reverse order. That means in a, I can say, descending order. Then what we need to do is simply mention here a reverse equal to, just try to mention true. True. That is what I mentioned in the next slide. Here, reverse equal to true. True is a keyword here. True is a keyword. It's a testing. So I just mentioned that, oh, true, only T capital here. Remaining letters you need to take in a small letters only. Then only it will recognize. Otherwise it will not recognize. Okay. Now if I try to mention that, see what happened? It has sorted in a reverse order. In the reverse order. In a descending order, I can say. Okay. Just make reverse equal to true. By default, reverse equal to false actually. By default. I can take in the ascending order also, I can take reverse equal to false. No problem. See here, FALSC. I'm just taking F, only F, you have to take capital letter, remaining letters are small letters. If I take like this one, see what happened? It has sorted the data in an ascending order only. But this is optional parameter anyway. And by default, it takes actually false. Okay. Now I'm just making it true here. That's okay. Hey, for running this particular cell, you can either click on run option here or control enter from your keyboard. Control enter is also okay. Okay, fine. Next method that we are trying to understand is copy. Copy. So I wanted to copy the elements from one list to another list. Then how do you do that one? How do you do that? How do you do that? So for that, we have a predefined or built-in method that is copy. Copy. You can even do like this also. You can even do like this also. Let me try to do that one. Let me define two lists here, two separate lists here. And after that, I'll try to take here this list and my, let's say this list is there, right? So let's say this list equal to this one. This one. I wanted to copy this particular list in a separate list. Okay. So for that, what you can do is my list equal to this list. You can define like this also. You can define like this also. Now I wanted to print my list actually. For that, what you need to do is print off my list. My list. Then what happens here? See what it is displaying here? Same as it is elements it is displaying, right? Okay. Now this is one way. This is one way to copy the elements from one list to another list. Okay. Another way is this is the approach actually. This list equal to this is the one actually. This list equal to let's say I'm trying to define this one. Okay. And my list equal to intentionally I'm taking my list here. Okay. This list dot copy. So we have a predefined method here, that is copy. Copy print of my list. I'm trying to define here. I'm trying to print my list here, and I'm trying to print here the address of this list and the address of my list as well. You'll understand why I'm trying to print that. Okay, and the same thing I'm trying to do here as well. Same thing I'm trying to do here as well. Okay, but without underscore, I'm trying to take here this list and my list. See, if you execute this one, what happens here? What is this? Address of this list. This is also address of the my list. Now, both the addresses are same or not? Both the addresses are same or not? Yes. Yes. Now, what is happening here? What is happening here? What is happening here indirectly? Now, initially, you created this list, and in this particular list, you have orange, mango, and you have kiwi, and you have pineapple, and you have banana. All these elements are there here in this object. This object is pointed by what? This list, right? This list, right? So this list, this object is pointed by this list variable name. Okay. When you say my list equal to this list, what happens? One more variable created, that is my underscore or my list here, that will be pointed. This my list is pointing this same object in the backend. Same object in the backend. Same object in the backend. See, this is just pointing here. My list is just pointing the existing object. Existing object. It is not going to create a new object. Okay. But in this approach, in the second approach, what happens? What happens? When you use copy here, what happens? See here, output we got my list as it is here. In the it has copied, but what about the address here? What about the address? What about the address? What happened here? What happened to the address here? This is same address or different addresses? Now, did it create two different objects or single object it is pointing? Come on.
Two different objects.
Two different objects it is trying to create. Okay. In Python, this one we call it as a deep copy. Sorry, this one we call it as a shallow copy. This approach we call it as a deep copy. This is shallow copy. This is deep copy. And I'm giving you an assignment to you guys. What you guys can do is in this approach, start modifying the elements in both the lists. Both the lists. What happens? You try to observe. And every time you modify, try to print the IDs of the objects actually. And what happens? You just let me know in tomorrow's session. Okay. I'm giving here just a normal print command. This is going to generate a new line because previously the two lines are a bit clumsy actually. So in order to generate a new line here, I just use print. Going forward, I'm going to use these prints like this only. If you want to have some space between the lines. Okay, so nothing is there here to understand about this. Okay, so this is about the list. If you want to join two lists, actually, you need to use this concatenation symbol. Directly, you can concatenate those two strings actually. List 1 plus list 2. What happens, we will try to understand here. Okay, list 1, list 2 equal to 1, 2, 3. So once after concatenation, I wanted to print them actually. And now just try to execute this ABC 1, 2, 3. Elements are simply added at the end. Okay. Okay, fine. This is concatenation. And you can use the extend also here. Extend is also one of the method here to add the elements to the other list. If you want to concatenate two lists, we can use extend also here. Okay, so I've repeated all these lists here. The other things also I mentioned here. The other things are like, let's say, if you want to if you try to use like this L1 star 2, that means the list will be, the elements of the list will be repeated twice here. Initially I have, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. If you give L1 star 2, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 you'll get. Concatenation, anyway, you know L1 plus N2. Let's say member, you already know. Member means that particular element is there or not. So to know that one, actually 2 in L1. If 2 is there in this particular list, then it will return true, otherwise false. Okay, and next iteration, you already know. For loop, we have to use to iterate the elements in the list actually. Okay, and if you want to know the length of the, how many elements are there in the list, if you want to know that one, directly you can use len function here. Len of that list. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is there, so you'll get the output as 4. And next, if you want to compare two lists here, if the elements are same in both the lists, then it will try to return true, otherwise false here. Okay, and length function, you already know. Max element, whatever you wanted to know that in that list, you can use directly max of list. Min function, if you want to use on top of that list, then indirectly you can use here. I mean, directly you can use here min of list. So you'll get the least element in the list actually. And the last one is min, I was trying to say. Okay, and one more thing is here. If you want to convert the list into a sequence means just like a normal sequence, then you can convert using a list of sequence. Normal sequence into a list. So we are going to use this particular one, Scala, like very frequently. Even in Python also, you can use it very frequently in PySpark. Because we just define the sequence and we'll try to convert that into list format, and we'll do RDD operations on top of it. Okay, yeah, so that is about the list and its operations. So any question so far? Okay.